So the next thing I wanted to handle was vertical farming. What is vertical farming? Vertical farming is the practice of growing crops in vertically stacked layers. Now, back when I was a kid, when I was still smoking a lot of the grass that wasn't, quite legal yet, I used to subscribe to a magazine called High Times, which talked about, well, I didn't subscribe to it because I heard if you subscribe to it, you got put on a watch list. So, same thing with the National Rifle Association and things like that. I never really subscribed to any of these magazines, but I would buy them at Barnes & Noble and stuff with cash. But, so, what you have to understand is, when you look at the way that marijuana growers go into growing things, it will and does revolutionize the food industry, especially, for green things, like vegetables and such like that. So the main advantage of utilizing vertical farming technologies is increased crop yield that comes with a smaller unit area of land. So the other thing is these things can be used in urban areas. You put 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 vertical farms in a city, you're feeding that whole region, not just the city, but the whole region. Hydroponics refers to a technique of growing plants without dirt. You can read this on your own. Aquaponics is a term coined by the words by 2 words, aquaculture and hydroponics. Okay, aeroponics is another version. This was used by NASA. Controlled environment agriculture. This is simply just being completely in a controlled environment like a greenhouse. Building-based farms. So abandoned buildings are often reused for vertical farming, such as a farm in Chicago called The Plant. Yeah, this needs to be done everywhere, okay? Because we need food security. Recycled shipping containers are used. Deep farms are in refurbished underground tunnels or abandoned mine shafts. Floating farms on the open water. And this is an ongoing, the science barge. These are things that we can do. We are doing these things. They're being done now. These are ways to secure the food supply for a micronation. So vertical farming for the future. Indoor and vertical farming may be part of the solution for raising demands of food. This is from the USDA. I highly encourage people to read it. Okay, they're excited about potential opportunities vertical agriculture presents to address food security. That's why the USDA already has some of their funding and research opportunities in place. The National Institute for Food and Agriculture has funding opportunities that could support future vertical agriculture conferences and research. Similarly, the Agricultural Research Service is working on the project to increase U.S. tomato production and the quality in greenhouses and other protected environments, so controlled environment farming. Fully automated, the future of agriculture. What does automated vertical farming look like? This is fully automated agriculture, meaning everything is done by the farm, by robots, okay? This is something that people need to take into consideration. This is why they need to read The Fourth Industrial Revolution by Klaus Schwab and quit going, oh my God, that's scary. It's going to happen one way or the other. It's a matter of merging with the technology or being supplanted by the technology. Okay? Cultured meat. For those that refuse to adopt a vegan diet, there is always cultured meat. I find this to be much more beneficial than it is. So cultured meat has the potential to address environmental impact of meat production, animal welfare, food security, and human health, in addition to its potential mitigation of climate change. The other thing is, it's going to be much cleaner than regular meat. And the thing is, for those that refuse to adopt a vegan diet, it's something that will be edible, taste normal, and be healthy. Or at least healthier than insects or something like that may be riddled with parasites and things of that nature. Moving forward, this is more on the science of cell-cultured meat I recommend people read this. Cultured meat, also known as cultivated meat, also known as cultured meat, is a genuine animal. It's a genuine animal meat that is produced by cultivating animal cells directly. This production method eliminates the need to raise and farm animals for food. So it gets rid of the need to destroy. So land is being used extremely inefficiently right now in traditional agricultural methods. Okay, traditional agricultural methods that are at the whims of nature. Whereas you can grow cell-cultured meat and vertically farmed food in a protected environment, free from the exposure to the elements and completely controlled so that it comes out proper. So, moving forward, what to know about lab-grown meat? Okay, it's not vegan. Again, I probably will never be eating lab-grown meat. And it's funny because I am a voracious, like before I went vegetarian, I went vegetarian for ethical reasons. I love meat, but I gave up meat for ethical reasons. I will continue to not consume meat simply because I don't believe it's the healthiest thing. Okay? Now, the thing is, like I said, I gave up meat for ethical reasons. I believe that lab-grown meat, for the most part, ameliorates that ethical concern. Okay? So it's not vegan since lab-grown meat contains animal cells. It's not considered vegan, and it should not be. Okay? And many vegetarians are undecided. I think that for an ethical concern, yes, it ameliorates the concern, the ethical concern. I do not believe, though, that it's going to be healthy or that you should be eating oodles of lab-grown meat. Okay? This is the problem right now, the price. Obviously, the more these things become available, the lower the price will become. Okay, moving forward. The United States approved cell-cultured chicken. The United States has just approved cell-cultured chicken. Chicken made from cultivated cells. The nation's first lab-grown meat. Moving forward. Now, more importantly than lab-grown meat is the ability to print new body parts for people with their own DNA. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit later. But who is Natasha Vita-More is a very interesting person. She's very influential in the transhumanist movement, and I really wish people would learn more. This is about her primo-post-human concept of utilizing a full-body prosthetic. Okay, so you can watch the video here. This is the lead scientist is Natasha Vita-More. Definitely take your time and read her, or not read, but watch her videos, and, you know, it would be beneficial to you. I have a whole playlist dedicated to her, but yes, it would be beneficial to you. So 3D bioprinting is the utilization of 3D printing-like techniques combined as cells and growth factor, or biomaterials to fabricate biomedical parts. Okay, the process. Okay, pre-bioprinting. Pre-bioprinting is the process of creating a model that the printer will later create. Bioprinting, post-bioprinting, bioprinting approach, biomimicry, autonomous self-assembly. The second approach of bioprinting is autonomous self-assembly. This approach relies on the physical process of embryonic organ development as a model to replicate the tissues of interest. When cells are in their early development, they create their own extracellular matrix building blocks. Okay? Autonomous self-assembly demands specific information about the developmental techniques of the tissues and organs of the embryo. Mini tissue. The third approach of bioprinting is the combination of both biomimicry and self-assembly approaches. This is going to take a look at the different printers, extrusion methods, different extrusion methods of the bioink, other printing methods, Direct printing, coaxial, blah, 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 blah. Definitely, this should be read. So what is Syndaver? This is Syndaver. This is a fully synthetic, utilized training dummy for the, for basically the practice of medicine, to train people, particularly EMTs and combat medics, on how to provide services in the field. Okay? So the Syndaver has the organ systems, the integumentary system, everything. Everything. You see, this is a knee, adult crick training. It has the layers of tissue, okay? Replacement tissues, wearable chest tube trainer, wearable, that doesn't look safe, but muscular tissue plate, abdominal tissue plate. Okay, so it's showing the different tissues, but eventually, once we get bioprinting down better, it should be possible to completely print an entire, here, I'm going to show you the full body model. To print an entirely new body with one's own DNA, so effectively to create tissue. Now you could probably, you don't even need necessarily the genetic material, but simply the code for that person's unique genes, and you could correct any flaws in that genetic material, and then download, this is the cat feline anatomy model, and then you could correct any anomalies in that DNA, frog, and what you could do is download, once we get the uploading of the mind, you could upload the mind and then re-download the mind into a new, fully functioning, printed body that's made with actual human tissues created from that person's own DNA code, that code that makes them uniquely who they are. Okay, now the primo post-human has the idea of using synthetic materials, things like Kevlar, carbon fiber, things like that, and putting the mind of the individual into a more durable, vehicle, if you will. Okay, moving forward. Liz Parrish, also known as Patient Zero, has taken a number of gene therapies, including myostatin blockers, to help age gracefully. I encourage people to follow Liz Parrish. She is obviously a genetic researcher and a pioneer in gene therapy. Liz Parrish was assailed by doubts about disease in human beings when her son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. This eventually led her to submit an internationally pioneering gene therapy, which is showing how the conditions associated with age can be combated. Thus, she is considered to be patient zero of an unprecedented process that she is developing from BioViva Science, the biotechnology company she leads. This experimental case, which has not been validated or backed by any international scientific organizations, has been presented at the Longevity World Forum. Specifically, the gene therapy received by Ms. Parrish focuses its action on telomerase, which improves genomic stability. So it improves genomic stability. Remember, genomic instability is what? A hallmark of aging. It reduces senescence, and it may even prevent cancer. Follistatin, which increases and improves muscle mass and reduces frailty, and Klotho, an enzyme that optimizes brain functions and eliminates the damage caused by oxidative stress. The last day of the Longevity World Forum focused on the social and economic aspects of longevity, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares because that's all imaginary and it can be ameliorated with things like vertical farming, so blah, 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 blah. Moving forward. Intranasal and injectable gene therapy for healthy life extension. This is about the therapies that she took. I recommend people take it. Or not take it. I recommend people read it. I can't recommend that you take anything. I'm not a doctor. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to leave everybody on that. I want to show that not only are reservations for white Americans a possibility and the right thing to do, but with the technologies available, the sustainability and the prosperity of these places would be almost guaranteed. And that's all for this video series.